wanted to invite Chaplain Barnabas up. Is this your first meeting back from military leave?
Yes, it is.
Welcome back.
I'm so excited to be back. So excited to see such beautiful faces. Hope you guys are having a great day. I want to share something this morning, very short. I shared it with a couple of our staff, and I know a new year is coming. Are you guys excited? 4 more months, then we're in a new year, 2026. Have one what? Yeah, New Year next month as well. Yes, we're talking about yes, not Jewish New Year's coming up. I'm referring to the January 1st, right? It's the day that everyone makes 1,000 New Year's resolutions and do 1,000 different things. Has anyone completed their New Year's resolutions from 2025 yet? All of them? Everyone laughs, right? Listen, I'm still working on it, and the reason why I say that is because I know it's around the corner, and I've been thinking about this. How do we complete these things that we really want to do? Some people tend to say, you know what, Chaplain, I'm going to wait till 2026 to get these things done. And I want to say that we don't have to wait till 2026, that we can start today. So I've challenged myself and our staff to do 3 things and tell ourselves this every day. It's simply this. I'm going to do the right thing, to do the hard thing, to do something. Say it again, 3 things. To do the hard thing, do the right thing, and do what? Something. And something sometimes isn't a big thing. My mom, I shared this with Miss Susan yesterday. I said, my mom told me as a kid, the best way to eat an elephant is piece by piece. And some of us have this elephant-sized dreams and goals for 2025. And we said, man, start with small little bites. A challenge. I'm going to walk 1 mile this week. A challenge. Or maybe half a mile this week. Maybe a quarter mile this week. Maybe 100 steps to the dining room and back. But do something, do the right thing, and do the hard thing. So when 2026 come, you'll be prepared to take on those new challenges in that new year. So let us pray. Well, Heavenly Gracious Father, thank you for today, for it's truly a gift. Thank you for our lovely residents. Thank you for our lovely staff. Thank you for the opportunity that I get to be with them day in and day out. And thank you for their loving hearts and their joy. We ask today that you just be with them, you guide them and protect them, give them health, give us health and everything, be the center of all things. And as we talk about the business of Acts, that we do it in a loving way, Father, to advance our community and to advance the lives of so many people around us every single day. In your name I pray. Amen. Thank you.
Thanks, Barnabas. All right, I'm just going to welcome a few newcomers before we introduce Cheryl. I wanted to share some of our new residents who have moved in. We have Harold Cohen in C401. We have, I don't have a picture, but Harry Mann in B301. Like to welcome Gloria Gross, B408. Is she here? Okay. So we have Dorothy Merlin, A406. Linda Nelson, A416. And Bernie and Carol Cohen in B516. So please welcome them when you see them. We thought we would discuss our primary care office today with you. There's been some confusions about the COVID tests that we provide, and also just a variety of thoughts about primary care services. And Cheryl asked to be put on the agenda so that she can share information about the office and answer your questions. So please join me in welcoming Cheryl.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Okay, sometimes I talk too loud, sometimes too soft, sometimes I talk too fast. So that's Bostonians do that. So just tell me to slow down, okay, if I do. So I wanted to talk a little bit first about the clinic. So the clinic is really called Primary Care Services now. We're really not the wellness clinic anymore. And there's a little bit of confusion because years ago it was always a nurse-run clinic. There was never a provider there. And then as I've been meeting more people, I realize a lot of people don't even understand the difference between a nurse and a nurse practitioner. So I'm going to just do a real quick little thing on that. So nurse practitioners are advanced practice. So we have a master's degree or a doctorate degree in nursing, okay? But when you are a practitioner, it's medical training, essentially. So we use the same textbooks that medical students use and the residents use in their training. We have to do the same clinical hours, essentially. There are some differences based on what you did. So I'm a family nurse practitioner. So I had to take care of and do training from newborns, actually pregnant moms, all the way through the lifespan. So I'm technically trained to take care of any age group, okay? The psychiatric nurse practitioners are trained to take care of people that are having issues with anxiety, depression, and sometimes our care might overlap a little bit, but their focus is mental health, okay? We have nurse practitioners that are nurse anesthetists, and all they do is work in clinics and hospitals, and they help the anesthesiologist put the people to sleep for whatever procedures and surgery that they're doing. We also have a specifically just a pediatric nurse practitioner who only does peds. So there's different classes, there's different certification tests in order to do that. We do order diagnostic tests. Yes, I can order x-rays, I can order ultrasounds, I can order MRIs, depending on what the problems are. I order medications, and that includes all medications. I do have a DEA number, just like the physicians. So there's really there's differences, but they're not. And how I like to explain it is that when you put the physician on the train and the nurse practitioner or a physician assistant on the other train, we all get to the same station. We go different routes, but we always typically get at the same location, okay? The medical training's a little bit different. Nurses have always been trained a little bit different than the doctors, but as far as a nurse practitioner, like I said, our training, our books, everything was essentially the same, okay? So that's what I wanted to do first, is explain the difference. When the wellness clinic was run by nurses, there was nobody there that could order you prescription. If you came in and thought you had a urinary tract infection, there was nobody there who could take your urine and do a test and then say, okay, you have an infection, we're gonna send it to the lab to get a culture, because a culture tells us which direction to go in, and then I'm gonna go ahead and order you an antibiotic. Nobody could do that, okay? Primary care services, you have to understand that we are a doctor's office essentially, and that's why we always ask you to please call before you come so we can take care of you in a timely manner. If I'm in the middle of an appointment with somebody, I can't leave that patient alone in the room to come out and see somebody else. It's not fair, okay? So we still ask you to please just pick up the phone, call and say, hey, I have this problem or that problem. Megan's gonna ask you questions. And the reason why she's asking you those questions is so she can figure my schedule. Does Cheryl need 20 minutes with this person? Does she need a half an hour with this person? So she has to ask you what is wrong. And a lot of times people don't want to tell Megan, but it's really necessary so she can plan it. And our goal is for you to walk down to the clinic at the time she tells you, and you literally, we're ready for you when you get there or within a couple minutes, okay? We don't want you sitting in the waiting room there for 20, 30, 40 minutes. That's why we ask you to call. But you have to understand that we do have a schedule because we are doing different things, all right? Any questions about that part of the clinic or and how it's being run? No? Okay. Any questions about a nurse practitioner versus a regular nurse? No? Okay. Was that new information to some people? Yes? Okay. All right, so the next thing I wanted to talk a little bit about is the a particular ACTS policy. It's called the Annual Independent Living Assessment. So we're getting a lot of questions about this. This policy has been in place. Those of you that have been here for any length of time, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, we have some residents. This has never gone away. What happened was during the pandemic, everything got put on hold and nothing was done. There might be some of you that remember previously when they did an annual assessment, they went to your apartment and it included maintenance And their job was to look at your apartment and see, oh, what do we need to do? Oh, that window won't open. We need to get that fixed. Housekeeping would come and they'd say, okay, what do we need to do? Maybe you guys need the carpet cleaned or whatever. It used to be a combination of the different departments that would come to the apartment, and the nurse from the clinic at the time would come and did her part. This assessment that we're doing, number one, you have to understand, there's no money involved. Okay, there's no billing to your insurance. This is an ACTS policy to keep our records updated on you guys. Okay, that's what it is. There's no money involved. There's no physical exam involved. And so what are we doing then? Well, part of it is we have to update your records. So number one, who's your doctor? What are their phone numbers? What medications are you taking? Okay. What other specialists might you have had? What procedures did you have in the last year that we don't know about? There was one resident, we were doing it, and I didn't know that they had had a problem and had a pacemaker inserted 2 years ago because they had never been down to the clinic to do their update. So why does that matter? Well, guess what? If their heart stops and I have to defibrillate them and get the machine out and shock them, I can't put the pad over the pacemaker. I mean, I would see that when I remove the clothing to do that. But my point is, we need to have this information to take care of you if there is a problem. And it just makes everybody's job easier. Just yesterday, I got a phone call from Boca Hospital, one of our residents there. Cheryl, can you send me an updated medication list? Well, that person did not show up. They were scheduled for an annual I don't want to say physical, I'm sorry, annual assessment. They didn't come to the clinic that day. They were a no-show, no call, no show, okay? So it never got done. So when the hospital, Boca called me yesterday from the emergency room, all I could say was, I'm sorry, I don't have that information. I can give you the doctor's name, you can call the doctor, but I don't have that information. So they call us looking for this information, and if you don't come down for us to update it, you know, harm can happen. What if you developed a new allergy to a medication and I don't have it in the record, and the hospital calls and I send it over and it's not listed, and then they give you that medicine and you have a problem? There's reasons why we do this. It's not to be mean, it's not to pick on anybody, it's not to pull you away from your activities that you like to do, whether it be swimming and classes or, you know, cards or whatever. But it's a necessary part, and that's why it's in a policy format. So we're gonna update all of that. What else do we update? We need to know your emergency contacts. We have had residents who their first emergency contact has passed away and they've had to change that information. Healthcare surrogate, okay? How about your power of attorney? Oh my gosh, you have a stroke and you can't speak. What are we gonna do? Who are we gonna contact? And so when we update this information, again, it's for your safety. It's not us just trying to be nosy, okay? There is a reason why we do this. So healthcare surrogate, power of attorney, your emergency contacts, your medications, your doctor's names, okay? I can always look up their phone number, but at least their name, okay? That's what we're looking for. One of the other things that we do at that time is we update your insurance cards. Now, everybody in this room, pretty much, not everybody, but most of us, are 65 or over, so we have Medicare. Every year, you have the right to change your insurance. And we have had residents that have come down and they wanted to see us for one reason or another, and they changed their insurance 3 years ago. We don't have the right cards. Or we'll bill the insurance and they'll say, they don't have insurance with us. So we ask you to bring your card when we do that annual update. So we have your new card on file. Okay, that's important. What was the other thing I wanted to mention? Yeah, I was gonna bring that up next too. I was just trying to focus on. Yes, okay. So we have another list. So we start with Megan at the window, and Megan will put some of your information in the computer, those phone numbers or things that might have changed. Then you'll meet with the nurse or myself or both. It depends how busy and what we're doing. And we have a questionnaire sheet that we go over. Now, a lot of you I know, and I can answer a lot of it myself without even asking you those questions. You know, one is, have you had a fall in the last 30 days? Well, we keep track of the falls. So, I mean, a lot of you, I would know that without even asking you that question. Some of it is, can you find your way to the dining room? Well, a lot of you, again, I know, and I know you find your way to the dining room as I do. Things like that, you know. So we go through this questionnaire sheet, and what that sheet is for, again, I want you to understand what this is for. It's looking to see if there's a problem that we can help you with. So let's say that my doctor put me on a new medicine for my blood pressure, and unfortunately it's causing me to get dizzy sometimes or lightheaded, and my balance isn't the best. Well, guess what? We can either ask the physician to look at a different medication, or we can get you some physical therapy to work on your balance, okay? So our goal, keep this in mind, if you don't hear anything else that I say, our goal is one thing: keep you healthy in your apartments. We don't want to move you to Willowbrook. We don't want to move you to assisted living. We don't have enough beds. We want to keep you healthy in your apartment. So when we go through this, we're looking to see if you need some help. So how many of you, and I can attest, well, I'm just going to say myself, okay, in the last couple weeks have misplaced something you were looking for? Anybody else besides me? Okay, so the cognitive test, okay? And what we're looking for, again, is how can we help you? So if I'm starting to have some memory changes, a lot of people don't know this, speech, some people do, but speech therapy can help with this. And we've seen improvement in people's cognitive abilities with speech therapy, okay? They have different things, and everybody knows about the Wednesday class that Laura does, and that's pretty popular. So everybody knows about that. But speech therapy can work on a one-on-one individually to help people improve. And we've seen this when we've done it, okay? So that's what this whole thing is about. No fees involved, updating your information so no harm will come to you, and doing the tests and answering the questions just to see if we can help you with anything, okay? I would rather somebody say, oh, gee, I noticed that, you know, you're walking kind of crooked, or maybe you need a little therapy there, rather than me trip and fall, which I can do very easily on my own feet, trip, you know, and get an injury. I mean, and we all know, I'm sure all of you have heard this and read, falls and seniors don't go together. We just know they don't go together. We've seen lots of injuries and bad injuries, and people sometimes don't bounce back after falling and having hip fractures or legs or shoulders, or so, you know, we want to keep you safe. Just keep that in mind. So the most important thing, like I said, I got another call just this morning asking about this, and if my doctor sees me once a year and he does all this. This is not what your doctor's doing. Your doctor's, yes, he's doing some of what we do, but he's looking at you from a different perspective. The Medicare once a year exams are looking at what type of medical equipment you have, you know, what kind of help. Again, it's the same thing, and how can we help you to stay healthy, okay? But our goal is a little bit different. Any questions about that annual? Yes.
The annual, are we supposed to call you to make an appointment for that?
We do both. You can call us, or we have a list. We try to work and do this sometime around your anniversary. We've decided to do that recently. We had other options, but we thought if we follow your anniversary of when you moved in, that might be the easier part. But we're trying to get caught up because so many people didn't have it done because of COVID. So we got really behind, and we're really trying to get caught up.
Hold on, you just hit. She wants to hear.
I had the same question.
Okay.
Anything else with that before I move on? Mm-hmm.
1 second, let me get a mic for you. I'm sorry. Just head into.
What about the DNR?
What about the DNRs? Okay, DNRs are a very personal thing. It's one of my little things. It's kind of a pet peeve of mine because first off, a lot of you don't know, but I'm old. So this is literally my 50th year in healthcare. I went right out of high school into an LPN program. I worked 2 years as a licensed practical nurse and decided I loved nursing. Then I jumped into my bachelor's program. My first master's later was nursing administration and leadership, and then I went back for my practitioner, another master's. So, DNRs. I worked in ICU for many years, and some of you know this. Cardiac is my background. I worked with heart transplants, bypass, valve replacements. The cardiac cath lab where we shoot the dye, that's my love. I love the heart. But I've heard so many nurses over the years say, oh, do you have a DNR? Do you have a DNR? And they think just because once you become old, and let's face it, 65 is still young now, right? I mean, how many residents we have here over the age of 100 or are going to be 100 in the next year or two? We have a lot, okay? And they push the DNR. The DNR is something you have to think about, and if you either talk with your family or your physician and really think about it. It depends on you individually. What's your health status? What do you think about it, you know? Not everybody needs a DNR. So, and I'm gonna just give you a really quick example. I had a gentleman I met one time, and the family kept pushing, oh, you need to have a DNR, you have to have a DNR. Well, his pacemaker started to fail, and he started having problems, and one of the children had made a comment when they were visiting about, oh, Dad's got a DNR, leave him alone kind of thing. No, the pacemaker needed a new battery. He's got another 20 years on this new battery. He doesn't need a DNR. So it's something you have to think about. It's the quality of your life and not the quantity. So if you guys have somebody has lots of health problems, let's say I have a terminal cancer, I'm in pain, maybe I have arthritis on top of that, maybe I have CHF, I'm in heart failure, I have trouble breathing. If I'm not comfortable with life anymore and I'm feeling that way and I don't want to be resuscitated, then yes, I should have a DNR. But I don't want anybody just to jump because somebody says, oh, you're over 65, you should consider that and have it. It's something very personal that you have to think about. Can you take it back once you sign it? Yes, you can. If you decide you don't want a DNR, yes, you can say, okay, rip it up, all right? But in Florida, there is a special form. It has to be on yellow paper. It has to be visible to the paramedics if they come and just go to resuscitate you. If that form's not there, they will resuscitate you legally. They have to. But it's a very personal thing that you have to do. If you ever have questions, you want to sit and think about it and talk about it, you know, make an appointment. We can discuss it for sure, okay? If you're not real sure about it. And then the living wills, you have to understand that's different too than a DNR. So a DNR is a do not resuscitate, period. Not going to do anything if something happens. Really shouldn't even call 911 if you're a DNR, okay? But a living will can be different. You can have a living will that says, you can shock my heart to get me back, but I don't want feeding tubes to keep me alive, or I don't want one of those breathing tubes called the endotracheal tube down, and don't put me on a respirator. So you can pick and choose in a living will kind of what you want. But a DNR is leave me alone and let the good Lord take me if he says it's my time. Okay? Mm-hmm.
I know the answer, but you may want to discuss the new COVID vaccine.
Yep, that's my next topic right now. Are we all good with all of this that I've said? Okay. So my next thing was the vaccines. I want to talk about COVID and flu. So it is that time of year. We'll be getting our flu vaccines. I haven't gotten the date yet, but I've told many people who ask, you know, the big pharmacies get them first. So when the manufacturers produce them, they go to Walgreens, CVS, Publix, all the big ones get it first, and us small people get it after. So we're just waiting on the information to come from Omnicare so we can get them ordered. What we've chosen to do again this year, because we felt it worked out best, is we're going to put in everybody's cubby a sign-up sheet, because I need to get a head count of how many people want them, okay? You have to realize that all of these vaccines we order do have expiration dates, so I don't want to order 300 vaccines and then only 200 people come, because then, remember, ACTS, you guys pay every month, right? That's money being wasted, thrown away if we don't use them, okay? The same thing with COVID. We haven't gotten any information yet. We're still waiting to hear about what they're doing with COVID this year. So there's been rumors out there that insurance isn't going to cover, and then there's rumors they are, so I don't know exactly what's happening with that yet on the COVID end. Flu shots won't be a problem. We'll be getting those, and we just, like I said, need a little head count. Do you all remember when we put the papers out and you signed the paper and put it in the little box that you wanted it? Okay, that will reserve your vaccine. So if I have 150 people that say, yes, I want it, then we'll order that 150, and I usually order about 10 over, because it never fails. Somebody else comes, oh, I forgot to sign up and I want it. But we do need that head count, okay? Those should be coming anytime. Like I said, we're waiting just to get that okay, because what happens is they call us and they say, okay, you can go ahead and order them now. That's what we're waiting for.
The COVID vaccine we're getting this time is newer and better, right? Or is it?
We haven't heard. We're still waiting
you don't know
on
yet.
that. Yep, we're still waiting on that. We haven't heard any news. And speaking about COVID, yes, we did have that pretty large outbreak. We had a smaller number in OBT and a smaller number in Willowbrook, but we did have a fairly large. We have technically no COVID. We actually had one new case just yesterday. Until yesterday, we were finished. There was no new cases, okay? And I do want to bring that up again real quick about the COVID because of the insurance issues. So, insurance previously during the pandemic, which has been over, the government was sending free tests. So we always here at ACTS had multitude of tests, and we could give anybody a test anytime. Employees, residents, we had them, okay? They don't do that now. We have to pay for every single test we purchase, okay? I went online because I was curious, for my own curiosity. What does Walgreens charge? What is CVS? What are people charging for tests, okay? Test kits can be, for one test, I saw the cheapest one I saw was a single test in a box that was, I want to say, $8 or $9. The rest are all running anywhere from $15 to $20 for usually 2 tests in a box. So, with that being said, you guys, as independent residents, should all purchase a kit and have it in your house. So if you get sick, you have the ability to test yourself. If you come to the clinic and say, I have company coming from out of town and I want to make sure I don't have COVID because they're bringing a new little great-grandchild or something, then I have to charge you. And it is a $25 fee, and insurance will not pay for that. Now, somebody else said that they called. Different things that I've heard. Somebody went to the doctor's office because they were sick. They were coughing, sneezing, having trouble breathing. Their doctor did a whole physical exam that included a COVID test and a flu test. That could be billed to his insurance because he was sick. He went to the doctor with complaints of shortness of breath and coughing. So they did a whole exam. Then insurance paid for it. But you can't come to the clinic and I can't just do a test without charging. I can't bill that to insurance. They won't cover that. Questions on that?
Get a microphone. Give me 1 second.
I was told by a number of people that if you went to CVS or Publix and got a test, that it could be charged to Medicare.
I know, and that's one of the things I was referring to. I know that they said that on the phone, but actuality, I can tell you that my neighbor went to, I want to say she went to, is it Walgreens also had a walk-in clinic somewhere she went? They did not pay for it. She had to pay. So I'm not sure why they're saying that at Publix, honestly, because I can't charge for it.
Thank you. Cheryl, if you test at home and you test positive, is it necessary to come to the clinic?
It's necessary to call us.
Okay.
Because on our end, I'm going to set up your free meal delivery. Remember, if you guys are sick,
Right.
I have to approve
Right.
your delivery to your home.
Absolutely.
So that you don't get charged that $5 fee.
Right, but you're not going to retest.
Actually, you should have a test in your thing to retest, technically.
Okay, fine.
So anybody heard that name, Dr. Reinbold? You know he's our head up in Pennsylvania, corporate physician, right? So according to them, as independent residents, you are independent, just like Susan goes home every day, I go home. You are supposed to be able to do those things. Test yourself.
Absolutely.
You're supposed to know to stay home if you're sick and stay in isolation so you don't contaminate anybody else. And they do not expect us at this point to do any testing.
All right, thank you, and thank you for all you do.
Oh, thank you.
1 second.
Thank you. My question is, I noticed that there were some couples that one of them had COVID, and the partner or husband or wife were wandering around here talking to everybody because he didn't test, because he didn't feel sick.
No.
Now, what is the
When there's a
policy about
husband and
that?
wife, if we test them, we test them both. So I will say that the one person who is COVID positive right now, so was their husband. And the husband was positive first, and we did check the wife. We do that. Yeah, but I'm just saying, if we know about it, we're testing. I mean,
Here's a question. Hold on 1 second.
but you can,
The spouse was out
right.
and residents were feeling uncomfortable with that.
Is there a policy that if in a couple, that if one of them has COVID, the other needs to stay home as
No.
well?
Our policy is that they should be wearing a mask. They don't have to stay, because everybody's immune system is different. We have actually had residents where their significant other never got COVID. They had it, but their significant other never got it, because it's all individual. Okay, I gotta go. I'm sorry, I'm holding everybody up. One last thing, anytime you ever come to the clinic, per corporate, not my rules, per corporate, you have to bring insurance cards with you. Okay?
And that's just to triple check that we have the right insurance. Thank you, Cheryl. That, yeah. Okay, thank you. No, you were great, and I think you, is that mine? Oh, good. Okay, that's okay. All right. So we're going to move on to Comcast and Axe TV. So we're near completion of installing the new Wi-Fi and high definition boxes in each apartment. If you had COVID during the time we were going door to door, I'm providing DeAndre a list of those apartments, and we'll provide that to Comcast so that they can go back and double check your equipment and make sure that you have high definition boxes as well as the Wi-Fi if you would like the Wi-Fi. Once all that is completed, we're going to be installing the Axe television equipment, and we have to go door to door again. So that's going to begin September 30th. There's an outside contractor that will work with us to do the installation, but we're starting the week of September 30th. It takes about a month to get through the entire campus. So after that, we all will have Axe Television or Axe TV. We will train you on how to use it. It's on-demand television viewing and also live streaming. So for example, we would live stream this meeting once a month. We'd also record it, and you can go into that television channel and you can actually watch it at your leisure. So all of the things that we record will be placed in the Axe TV program, just like Netflix or any on-demand television channels, and you'll be able to access it. Any questions on Axe TV? Barnabas is actually going to bring a mic. I'm sorry.
They need to hear who you are.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so 95 would actually be eliminated, correct?
Eventually it will be eliminated, yeah. Well, likely we won't put anything on 95 except maybe movies until we eliminate channel 95. So once Axe TV is up, and I'm looking at Ellen, we will likely just move everything to Axe TV except for movies, and we'll show those on channel 95. But eventually channel 95 will be eliminated.
Got it.
Sally
Come on.
has a question.
Here you are. Oh, here you are, Miss Sally. Here's the mic.
Will this replace Vimeo or not? Is Vimeo still coming?
So Vimeo and Axe TV are the same. We're just branding it Axe TV, but it is a Vimeo product.
Do you know what they're going to have to do by getting into our apartments?
We have boxes down by my office. I've not opened them. I don't know if DeAndre has opened the boxes, but there's equipment that goes into every apartment. I haven't looked at what the equipment looks like, but they are coming the week of September 30th, and we'll let you know for sure once that's confirmed.
Does hooking up to Axe TV require another HMDI port?
Yes.
DeAndre is saying yes. So I don't know if we'll do, I don't know how that will work.
Do we have to be in our apartment when they come?
I don't know. All I know is they're coming September 30th. Before that, we will have a meeting, and then we can answer that question. I don't know when they come if they'll show you how to use the equipment at that time, or if we'll do a follow-up visit. We have to iron out all those details, but we were confirmed that we hope to start September 30th. And so once we have that first meeting to discuss it, then we could give you better information.
Coming with the mic.
They were at my apartment, and the TV now is not working. So what do I do? Will they come back?
We will add you to their list, and DeAndre's in the back. What's your apartment number?
324B.
B324. So we'll add you to that list to follow up.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so speaking of technology, we are actually going to have a technology fair, likely in the lobby, and that date is September 17th. We will be highlighting the Echoes, Axe TV, and the K4 options. We are looking for residents who are have the ability and understand technology to help us on that day with the technology fair. So if you are someone who's quite capable and you'd like to demonstrate and help others learn, we'd love to have you participate, and it would just involve being there, showing someone how to use the K4 app, or demonstrating the Axe TV and how you can navigate the television. So it's our way to highlight all the technology that we're introducing in a fun way. So Indian River is having a fair that week as well, and so is St. Andrews. So there's individuals from the corporate office. I think Marcus will be here as well, DeAndre, and then hopefully residents who are quite capable to help us with that. So that is September 17th. We'll send out announcements with more information as we get closer. Yes.
Lee?
I just have a question to go back to Xfinity. In the previous community where we lived, we had a dedicated number to call if we had a problem with Comcast or Xfinity. Do we have that here?
No, we have the 1-800 Comcast number.
Okay. And we had mentioned to you previously that we were being charged for a second box.
And if you see any strange charges on your bill, just bring them down. We'll take a copy and then we'll investigate.
Okay, give it to T, or
you could give it to Marty.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so going to a different topic, Willowbrook Court, Oakbridge Terrace repositioning. I just wanted to give a quick update on that. We are hiring a company called Proctor Construction who will actually help us with the planning part of the construction process and the identifying the cost associated with the project. We know that the project will begin next year, and our goal is to be done by the end of 2027. There will be 4 phases to the project, so there will be 2 hallways that will be phase 1 and 2, and then the phase 3 and 4 will be the main hallway as you enter Oakbridge Terrace or Willowbrook Court. That will actually be divided in half because we need to keep the means of egress during that last phase, so we'll have 2 phases on that last hallway. And as we go get closer to starting the project, we will meet with the residents who live in the hallways that are affected. We will move them to another hallway, and we will work individually with them. So in summary, 4 phases. We hope to be completed by the end of 2027 with a start date probably mid-year 2026. And we're really excited. ACA reviewed the plans. ACA is Agency for Healthcare Administration. They subsequently provided additional feedback. We're working on revising based on their feedback, and then they'll go through a second review followed by a final review. So we're working towards getting this project off the ground. Myra? No, the permits will not be issued until Agency for Healthcare Administration completes their review process. So whenever you have a licensed entity that is through the Agency for Healthcare Administration, all of those plans have to go through their plans and review department before we can even go to the county for permits.
How will OBT be changed?
Okay, so OBT, that's a loaded question. We just received our extended congregate care license for Oak Bridge Terrace. So we have 2 residents who are now assigned to the ECC license, which essentially allows people to live longer in Oak Bridge Terrace. And because of that, we will eventually move additional team members up to Oak Bridge Terrace. Willowbrook Court will become smaller. We'll have 1 floor, first floor Willowbrook Court. The second floor of Oak Bridge Terrace will be the apartment style rooms with a living room, bedroom, full bath, and a little kitchenette. And then the third floor will be a combination of ECC/memory care rooms. So we'll offer memory care in addition to traditional ECC as well as assisted living. So it's going to be really more home-like. Residents will have more amenities up there, and I think it's going to bring us to a more modern version of what Oak Bridge Terrace should look like.
Give me 1 second. There's a lot of questions in the room.
Extended Congregate Care License, ECC.
So in order to make each apartment larger, you will have less apartments, or now we have rooms, so there'll be less people that will be able to move to Oak Bridge Terrace.
So right now we have, for example, our license for Willowbrook Court, just to give you an idea, is 101 beds. We're running around 40. So we have more than, we have capacity in that we can move Willowbrook Court to the first floor, free up the third floor, and we'll have additional rooms for Oak Bridge Terrace. So I'm happy to maybe next month do another review of that. A couple months ago, I went through what the changes would be, and today I don't have that handy in front of me, but I'm happy to replay that those parts of that presentation I provided a couple months ago. Maren? No, they're probably, and I don't have copies of what they suggested, so the architect and engineer is looking at it. They're probably mechanical in nature, fire safety in nature.
Give you questions. Give me 1 second.
Thank you. Susan, could you just revisit what you said just now about memory care, please? Where it is and how big it will be? A little bit more about it, please.
Yes, so the third floor will become Oak Bridge Terrace along with the second floor. Willowbrook Court will be on the first floor, and we will offer memory care services on the third floor of Oak Bridge Terrace. 2 floors for Oak Bridge Terrace.
I'll ask the same question I asked of you and Susan and Barnabas 2 months ago. Hopefully I'll get the same answer. Will you, Susan, and Barnabas commit to being here, staying here, through this procedure? process?
I mean, I have no plans to leave. Now, if I win the lotto, that might change things. But
Well,
no,
if she
I
wins
have.
the lotto, I'm going with her. She's taking me with her. I'll just let you know.
So I have no plans to leave during that time. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, so suppose somebody is in need of care, okay, and there's no room, okay, because there's going to be less room once all this construction is done. Okay, what does that person do? I mean, do you provide for somebody where there's no room and they would have to stay in their independent apartment until?
So likely that won't happen. The question is, what if we were at capacity and we didn't have a bed available for your needs? We would offer St. Andrew's Estates at that point temporarily for you, and then you would come when an opportunity presented itself. But we don't envision that that's going to be a problem. Thank you.
My question goes back to the memory care. When I moved in here, memory care was on the first floor and considered part of Willowbrook. Now they're going to be mixed with assisted living, and or is that whole floor going to be memory care? But why is it being switched from Willowbrook to OBT, which I think is a very different level of service?
So OBT will become extended congregate care, so it will be a higher level of service compared to what we have today. And memory care, typically individuals are medically stable, but they might have memory care needs, which can be managed in a different setting. It doesn't need to be in a long-term care setting necessarily. If someone needs long-term care, of course, they would go to Willowbrook Court.
Will the staff be trained to handle memory care specifically?
The question is,
Yes, so will staff be trained for memory care? We are trained ongoing for memory care. All 100% of our team members are trained on memory care. But yes, I would envision we would have special programming for residents in Oak Bridge Terrace who need memory care services. Okay. I'm going to speed through this because I have a lot of slides left and it's almost noon. Just wanted to give you an update. We're still working on Willowbrook Court and Oak Bridge Terrace elevators, so that project continues. We have one elevator shut down. When that is completed, we'll go to the second elevator. We are not updating the inside of the cabs until we finish the construction project of Oak Bridge Terrace and Willowbrook Court. Doesn't make sense to spend money on the interiors only to get beaten up during construction. So it's not going to look as pretty as the one that we did initially in this building, but eventually we will redo the interior cabs of those two elevators.
can we save questions to the end for time's sake? Just document them, and she'll answer those after her other slides.
Okay, so the next project has been a little troubling, especially if you live in C or A building and you're watching how slow these projects are going. We have the two parking lots. Phase 1 is the medical ambulance entrance parking lot. That's the parking lot between Building C and Willowbrook Court. And then the Phase 2 is the is the parking lot between Building A and Willowbrook Court. And that one is also in progress. We've added the pad for the new generator. We'll have a new generator that will be assigned strictly for Willowbrook Court and Oak Bridge Terrace. That will free up the existing generator that services this building as well as that building. And so we'll be able to add additional items onto the generator that we have in existence once the new generator for Willowbrook Court, Oak Bridge Terrace is installed. But we're adding the slab for the generator now. going back to phase one, we needed to stop the project because when they began to grade it, it wasn't sufficiently graded because you have to have so much under grading. And so they redrew the engineering plans, and now they're grading it. Within 2 weeks, that lot should be completed, and then we'll finish up phase two, which is the larger parking lot. The parking lot in phase two, there's two parts to that. The dumpster area, we're redoing that area first, and then we'll follow up with the re-asphalt project for the rest of that parking lot. So it has taken a longer period of time, but we are finally starting to see our way out of the problems that we found ourselves in, and we are resolving those issues and moving forward. Any questions on this? Oh, we're supposed to wait, sorry. Okay, so we do have an EV station here that's going to be installed. We're waiting on the permit to be approved, and the EV station will be over in the B parking lot area. And once we start the project, we'll give you more information. Residents will be able to use the EV station. The charge is 25 cents per kilowatt per hour. And the process will begin once the permit is issued. It should be a quick process, a quick installation, and then we'll share where it is, and anyone who wants to learn how to use it, we can also provide information for you, but there is a charge to it. There's also a nice feature in that if a resident goes in there and forgets to move their car during the day especially, you're going to get a text message saying your EV vehicle is charged, and then within an hour or so, if you haven't moved your car, you'll get another text. So the idea is to get people to move, because we know once we park our car, we kind of forget about the car. So there'll be a system to hopefully move people out of the EV station once their car is fully charged. There was supposed to be two. We're starting with just one for now. We are, speaking of EV stations, we are looking to create a sustainability committee. So every campus throughout ACT's organization is being asked to have a sustainability committee, and that's different from a recycling committee. So I am asking if anyone's interested in being on that committee. I would love to have you. It would be a resident committee with some leadership members. Edgewater and one other campus are the only two campuses that do not have a sustainability committee. And I was on an all-day call yesterday about sustainability throughout the ACTS organization, and we were highlighted. So I want to get off that highlighted list, and if you like sustainability, if that's of interest to you, please let me know, and we'll form a committee. Okay, sustainability would be, and I don't have a definition in front of me, but sustainability would be how do we reduce our carbon footprint, for example. So are we going to maybe, instead of throwing boxes in the dumpster, are we going to find a place that we can actually recycle boxes here? So that would be one way, but reducing our carbon footprint and really being better to our world through different avenues. So that's kind of what we would, reducing paper, if you will. So the number of copies we make, and when we put them in the the cubby holes, just different ways to reduce our carbon footprint.
So this is what it says online. It is a group within the organization that oversees and develops and promotes practices and initiatives that are environmentally, socially, and economically sustainable. The committee advises leadership on environmental, social, and governance strategies and monitoring performance against sustainability goals.
Thank
That
you.
helps.
So Myra is suggesting maybe we use the housekeeping and maintenance committee for that. I would like to have a subcommittee because I think there's people who are passionate about that topic, and not everyone on the maintenance or environmental committee would be passionate about that. So it's really sort of a specialty committee. It's looking at one specific goal in mind. And so it doesn't have to be a large committee. It could be 3, 4 residents, and we can come up with a plan that we work towards some sustainability initiatives. And it can be easy, simple, but the point is that we're making progress.
Can we save the questions to the end because there's people leaving? I want to make sure she gets through her slides for everyone. I'm sorry.
Okay. So to move to a different topic, we are having a celebration of life on September 8th for Don in this room at 3 p.m. And his wife, Jill, will be here, as well as his daughter. So we invite you to attend. We will also invite individuals who might want to share how Don impacted our community and personally how he impacted us, but it's our way of honoring and remembering Don, who was just a great man, a great team member, and he was celebrating 5 years here on our campus, and so we are missing him, but we would like to celebrate and remember him on September 8th. Okay, cast your vote. Just a reminder, Myra sent out her newsletter. We have 6 board members up for re-election or up for election. The normal period to serve is 3 years, but some of those terms are shorter because individuals had resigned who didn't have a full 3 years left. So if you are interested, we are looking for some great people to serve on the board, and let us know if you are interested by submitting a resume to the front desk, and Ellen Taylor will be overseeing that process along with the board. So we're looking for a full slate of candidates. We're hopeful. And the votes are in November, so the election is actually in November. We're also being asked by our organization to have residents participate in a survey that's being conducted by Newsweek, and we're trying to achieve being in the best continuing care retirement community list for next year. So there will be a letter that will be displayed, and there will be a QR code that you can hit with your phone and can fill out the survey, and we're asking you to participate. So you'll be seeing that letter in the next day or so. The deadline is September 11th to complete the survey. Wanted to share, Marlon, I'm sorry. Marlon, I know your name. Marlon Kefauver is being highlighted in the Boca Raton Observer in September, and the topic is Rethinking the Dream, From Home Ownership to Passion Projects, What Making It Means May Depend on Your Birth Year. So as we all know, as we change generations, our goals change. So Marlon is featured, and she shares some really great information about her journey, and would recommend that you pick up the magazine. I believe it will be also digitally available, so feel free to go on the Boca Raton Observer magazine website, and you'll be able to read that article. And just want to thank Marlon for being part of that. Okay, the C building front doors are broken, and we're waiting on parts. The doors are going to stay closed until we get those parts, but we believe it was from someone pushing the doors and actually breaking parts. So we ask you, and I'm sure it was not a resident, but we ask that if you see someone pushing those doors or trying to move those doors around, that it really does damage the doors, and we ask that everyone be aware of that. We have our Jewish services coming up. September 23rd is Rosh Hashanah, and we'll have a service here, so please attend. We also have the Kol Nidre on October 1st, Yom Kippur on October 2nd. We have the Yizkor on October 2nd, and then Sabbath on October 17th. So we have a lot of nice holidays coming up, as well as dinner plans
And I'll
as well.
update those times, and those times will be posted in the elevator. Sorry for not putting the times. I just want to get it confirmed by the end of today. But I will have, this in the elevator with all the times. You can also get it at the front desk if you need more information. Thank you.
Okay, we're having our volunteer meeting September 10th. Marcia Lamel will be overseeing that, and that's at 1 p.m. in the auditorium. It was scheduled prior, but we canceled everything because of COVID. It's back on our calendar for September 10th. We also would encourage you to come and learn how to fill out the forms. If you don't know how to fill those out, we'll be going over that. Okay. First aid demonstration is on Friday, September 19th. We have the Palm Beach County Fire Department here, and they'll be demonstrating first aid, CPR, and Heimlich for those interested. I wanted to share some information, just some fun facts before we close and open the meeting up to any other comments. But we have hired, since the beginning of this year, 39 team members. And of those, we've had 4 people leave. June and July were our highest numbers of new hires. Anyone care to guess why? School was out, people were leaving, people were going off to college or getting ready, so we hired a new batch of team members for culinary. And the majority of our new hires are part-time or pool team members. This is a breakdown of our new hires, and you can see June and July, we had 11 in June and 9 in July. Of those ones in June, we had 10 culinary team members, and in July, 5 culinary team members. So they are the lion's share of our new hires. And here's a breakdown by department. You can see the largest share is culinary, 59%. We hired 23 individuals. We also hired 5 in Willowbrook Court, following that by 4 in the rehab department, and then the rest of the departments are 1 or 2 new hires. And if you look at this bar graph, you can see that part-time is our largest number of new hires. So we've hired 20 part-time team members in culinary, 3 full-time in culinary. So the pink is full-time, the orange is part-time, and then the greenish color is pool individuals. And what pool means is they don't have guaranteed schedules. They fill in as needed. Part-time typically has a guaranteed schedule. Some part-time positions offer benefits. Others do not. You have to work 20 hours a week to actually earn PTO or paid time off, and it's accrued based on the hours worked. All full-time employees do earn paid time off, but part-time it would depend on if you work 20 hours a week or more. And I was going to show a quick video, but I'm going to skip it in the interest of time. But we are conducting a employee engagement survey beginning September 11th, and we're asking team members to share what matters to them, what we're doing right as an organization in terms of employment, and what we could do differently in terms of employment. So the team members are being asked to complete the survey, and then we will get a summary of the things, particularly here at Edgewater, what we could do to improve the experience from a team member's perspective. There was a short video I was going to share, but I'm going to skip it because it's 2 minutes long, but it's really a video for the team members to watch. But I thought I'd share it with you. And then my last slide before we open for questions is how is our occupancy? Currently, we are 90.73% occupied. When you add committed and selected individuals, meaning that individuals who are coming in, we are 97.44% occupied. And we only have 8 available apartments to sell. We have 2 one-bedrooms and 6 two-bedrooms, and of those, 2 are on the first floor. So first floor apartments are pretty popular. We have 2 currently available on the first floor, but we only have 8 apartments to sell. So with that, I'd like to open the meeting up for any other quick topics.
And also feel free to leave if you have to leave for time's sake. Thank you for coming.
Susan, has anything been sent out regarding should a hurricane hit and power is lost as to what residents should do?
Probably not, but we can send something out. I know newer residents haven't been here during a hurricane, so we can send something out. Thank you.
Question, go ahead, shoot.
Susan, I noticed that the most hiring people were in culinary. If that's so, where are they?
So they're mainly the servers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Okay.
The bistro is beyond how you ever going to fix the bistro.
Yeah. So I know we're having a lot of culinary challenges right now. I've met with the board, resident board. I've met with Darren and his team leaders. We have Marcy out. We have Trish out right now. So we're at disadvantage currently with managers, but we hope that will quickly change. We do know there's issues, and we are meeting and discussing them. We are going to be sending out a new menu for the dining room. If you have suggestions, send me a private email. Say, why don't you add this entree onto the menu, and we can look at it. We're also going to work with the culinary committee and have them look at the new menu that we're going to be rolling out. Rita?
Recipes have been given to Darren, and he ignores them. He's not open to suggestions, and everything goes by the wayside. And I'm tired of hearing his expression, it will be looked into. Nothing gets done. Okay. Absolutely nothing.
Okay, so I would have to push back a little bit, and I would say that nothing is a strong, absolute comment. I know, in fact, that Darren does look into things. I know, in fact, that he does follow up. You don't always hear what that follow-up is. So I've asked Darren to make sure that we follow up with people to say what was the outcome. And we can respectfully disagree. I do think Darren listens, and menus or recipes we'll look at. I'll give you an example. There's a recipe, a mac and cheese recipe that's famous. It has 5 different cheeses on it, and so it would be cost prohibitive for us to add it to the menu, but maybe periodically we could have it as a special.
When we When we asked Darren about tastings, and he agreed to it at one point, the next month he said, I didn't know it was written in stone.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go ahead. Give me a second. Oh, no, I gave it to her. She gave it away. Some people's waiting as well. Go ahead, go back.
We have been over to St. Andrews for dinner and for brunch several times, and there is no comparison. They have a beautiful Sunday buffet every week, and the dinners are very, very good, very well prepared, and a big menu. Why can't we have it here when we can go 2 miles away to get it?
Okay, thank you. Judy?
Yes, things are slow sometimes recently in the culinary department, and we see Timothy running around doing so many jobs. I mean, he's doing about 3 people's jobs. Can't we get a temporary person to help while things are so tight? You know that Marcy and Trish are away, and I think Timothy spends a lot of time in the kitchen as well as coming out. I mean, he's even coming out to the front desk yesterday and taking people in. It's not his job. He shouldn't have to do all these things. And it's really up to Axe to get somebody else in on a temporary basis when we're so tight.
So I will just share that, you know, we don't have a crystal ball when someone has a medical issue and they have to go out on a leave of absence. So without giving too much information, sometimes things happen at one time, and that's what's happening currently. It takes about 30 to 40 days to hire someone. So by the time I hire a temporary person, Marcy and Trish will be back. So we are going through a tough time with leadership in culinary. We did add another station in the dining room last night, so we're hoping that that will improve the process in the dining room. So we are looking at everything, and we have plans to improve things. Thank you for your comment.
Susan, the last 2 nights in the bistro were horrendous. Anybody that was there would testify to that. As far as new recipes, I was thinking about this morning. I would like to challenge everybody here and on 95, and the whole community, to give Darren recipes, favorite recipes that they have, that they've always loved, and would like to share it with everybody here. What was I going to say?
Okay, we can do that. We can, you know, feel free to send a recipe in. We'll look at it. We'll see if it's feasible. We'll, you know, take a look at everything.
For time's sake, if you have any more questions, you come to the front. We'll be glad to answer it. Thank you guys for coming to our meeting today, and have a blessed day.
Okay, thank you.